This is your Olympic hero and former WWE champion, Kurt Angle. And I just wanted to give a shout out to my guys, Clint and Noah. When it comes to covering sports, there is no one better. And believe me, that's true. It's damn true.
Gentlemen, you are the top 1%.
The elite. Best of the best.
You are now listening to the Elite Sports Podcast, brought to you by Vermeil Wines and powered by GASN Sports, the pinnacle of hard-hitting sports talk, featuring weekly expert analysis and top-notch interviews. And now, please welcome your hosts, Noah Groniger and Clint Schweitzer.
Welcome to a different edition of the Elite Sports Podcast. I'm Clint Schweitzer. No, Noah Groniger is not joining me today, and this is going to be one of those rare interview-only podcasts. We're going to be taking you back to a couple months ago when we interviewed former New England Patriot, two-time Super Bowl winner, Jarvis Green. He joined us from his hotel in Vegas. Yes, he was out there. And because Noah and I are still putting the finishing touches on our SEC football documentary, Saturday Supremacy, we really didn't have time to come in and break down all the action for you guys. So we want to take you to this interview, which we did a couple months ago. We've been kind of holding on to it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. This is an exclusive. It's with Jarvis Green. Of course, he was a second-team All-SEC performer in 2001, drafted by the New England Patriots in 2002, won 2 Super Bowls in 2003 and 2004 with the Patriots, before finishing his career with the Broncos in Texas. But Jarvis Green, a tremendous defensive end and a key cog on those Super Bowl championship winning defenses for the New England Patriots. We're going to be talking to him about Tom Brady, his time in New England, playing at LSU, the SEC, all of that and much more. It's coming up right here in our interview with Jarvis Green. Well, there's nothing that goes better with football than beer, and we're excited to have Golden Road Brewing as one of our newest sponsors for the show. Founded in 2011, Golden Road is Los Angeles' largest craft brewery with brew pub locations across California.
Golden Road is excited to celebrate the Kansas City Chiefs with its partnership beer, Kingdom Blonde Ale. Kingdom Blonde is available at local retailers and in the Chiefs Stadium during regular seasons.
Golden Road's year-round offerings include Mango Cart Wheat Ale, Wolf Pup IPA, and Fruit Cart Hard Seltzer. Golden Road brewers are constantly experimenting with the freshest ingredients to keep fans' taste buds happy with a collection of rotating seasonals, creative flavors, and classic craft brews.
Pick up a case of Golden Road beer at your local store to enjoy before the next game. Visit goldenroad.la/beerfinder to buy Golden Road beer now.
Jarvis,
hey, what's up?
How's it going, man?
Good. What's going on?
Oh, you know what? Just trying to survive here in Missouri. What's going on out there in Vegas, man? How's everything going?
Pretty good, man. Nice day. We haven't really done anything yet. We're gonna probably go do some go-karts after this.
What's like in Vegas right now? I was supposed to go a couple weeks ago. Didn't wind up doing it. Things were kind of, is it pretty open? Can you do most things? You don't have a mask on, so that's a good sign.
I'm in my room right now. So we've been there since the 17th. I mean, going around, we at Caesar's Palace, man. So everybody mask up. You can hear security people. You can hear employees. You can hear him. You can hear people saying, "Put your mask on. Put your mask on. Put your mask on." You hear it all day. The sanitizing, the temperature at the forehead. I mean, 6 feet distancing. They've been doing a great job in the casino.
That's good.
Now, a lot of casinos are not open still. I just found it out yesterday. So a few casinos are not open at all. But, I mean, you can see the difference. I mean, it's people here, but it's not the normal Vegas, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I tell you what, we want to go back to your time at LSU as we hope to start ramping up for football season. Of course, the Tigers coming off a national championship here, and you were part of building an SEC championship team yourself in Baton Rouge. Just talk about, kind of growing up in Louisiana and why you decided to go to LSU, because at the time you went there, it was not necessarily it's always been a great program, but it was not necessarily a top flight program as it is considered today. What drew you to LSU, and why did you wind up going there?
For me, LSU was, I guess it was designed that in a way because I visit Miami, I visit Syracuse, I visit Auburn. Got a big fight at Auburn the first night I got in. And then LSU being close to home, so I said that was going to be my last trip. I mean, it's down the street. I wanted to really go to Miami. That's where I wanted to go. Bush Davis, they was on probation at the time. But LSU, my mom and dad got divorced. and it was a tough situation, and I was like the man at home, you know. And then LSU been so good to me with Coach Donardo. They recruited me. I felt comfortable as well going on campus, you know, checking out the engineering department, checking out my future teammates. So and then just, again, I didn't know the stuff that we did at LSU. My first 2 years, we won 7 games. You know, so I mean, we beat Florida my freshman year. I was a redshirt freshman, but Florida was number 1. I mean, but then Saban came in, so a lot has happened, a lot has changed, and a lot of people evolved.
Yeah, talk about that. Saban comes in. You guys win the Peach Bowl, but just talk about playing for Nick Saban and his continued success and just what sets him apart in the game of college football today.
I think with Saban, I guess not lucky. I've been blessed to play for 2 of the greatest coaches of all time, right? So when Saban came in, people was more like, we didn't believe in you know, his character, the type of person he was, because for me, I was like, man, did we beat these guys 45-26 in the Independence Bowl when he was at Michigan State? And when he came in, when I say he changed the entire program, you know, from just physical working out in the morning, being on a schedule, doing things, the little things, you know, because it was so tedious and the things that he wanted out of us. But, I mean, bringing Coach Moffitt, a local Louisiana guy, bringing Pete Jenkins, one of the greatest defensive line coaches of college football, just having all those guys together in space, working together. But I know in the beginning, my guys, they could speak on their own behalf, but a lot of guys, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't believe this guy was going to come and change the entire LSU program around. We just say, hey, he was a guy from the Big Ten. That's the Big Ten, right? From Michigan, right?
Michigan State,
yeah. He's just a guy from Michigan State that was a subpar team, subpar coach. Look at him now. One of the greatest.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And I mean, you guys go from going 3-8 and you wind up, winning that Peach Bowl, like Noah said. And, you know, you guys win an SEC championship your last year there. Mm-hmm. What was that like, kind of starting at the bottom of the barrel and then winding up your career as a second team all SEC performer, winning the Peach Bowl? You had great defensive players on the team. I think Corey Webster was on that defense.
Brady James, Trev Falk. Yeah, we had some great guys on that defense.
Yeah, what was that like? I mean, just going out on top the way you did after starting kind of at the bottom of the barrel.
Mm-hmm. I tell you, man, those first 2 seasons, we won 7 games. It was embarrassing. Didn't want to play football. A lot of guys, the mentality. We didn't know how to win. And then Saban coming in and just, you know, that DNA, pumping it into our blood, into our mind. And winning that Sugar Bowl, I mean, just phenomenal. You know, to play your last game, you know, in Louisiana in a Superdome is something that you always wish for playing high school football, but to do it in college, man. But just watching the guys getting bigger, faster, stronger, not plateauing. You've seen guys got better on the field mentally, not just physically, but that was all from Coach Saban and all the coaches and just getting us ready and prepared for NFL football.
Well, being a Louisiana kid playing at Louisiana State, whether it was the sights, the sounds, or the atmosphere, I mean, what were some of your favorite road environments that you experienced in the SEC?
Man, Tennessee was crazy. I mean, Florida. I mean, just Auburn, Georgia. We got some crazy for the opponents. And I always tell people when you get to the NFL, I mean, the SEC is NFL caliber for the speed, the strength, the guys. And Tennessee has to be one of the most, fabulous trips I've ever taken, just to see the stadium, knowing the history, 100,000 plus people. And of course, you always got Florida. You go down to that swamp, it's humid, it's muggy, mosquitoes everywhere. The fans, I mean, they got that swag about them. You know, even going to Georgia. I mean, I remember that year we went to Georgia, somebody broke into the field and did donuts all over the field. You know, I think the night before the game, probably some frat boys or something, right? And, little things like that, man, even like Auburn. I mean, just going into, Auburn and just the history, every game, SEC for me has been physical. I mean, bones, teeth scratching, bleeding, sweat. It's been physical. And I got to say, I'm so happy I played in SEC.
Yeah, there's something about it. Noah and I went around. We've been to all stadiums now.
Oh, that's beautiful. All of them?
We
Wow.
did. We 2 years ago. This is a film we're finishing up called Saturday Supremacy, where we're exploring the culture of SEC football. So I tell you what, nothing really beat for us LSU on a Saturday night. We were there
Really?
back in 2018. We just talk to us about that, man. There's something special about it for those that haven't experienced it.
So LSU was your favorite? That's your
Absolutely.
favorite?
There's nothing like it.
I mean, tailgating in Baton Rouge, man, it's just different. I know even like when I played, I mean, on the sideline, you could smell the whiskey in the stands at a 7 o'clock game. And then during the day, like 11 o'clock game, we used to hate playing 11 o'clock games. We wanted to play the night games. Everybody was ready to go. People tailgated. Everybody was just full of whatever, full of energy, excitement, alcohol, whatever you want to call it. But I know, like for me, I went to 4 tailgates last year. So I don't really go into the game just because of anxiety. But I mean, just being there, experiencing it, you don't have to go in the stadium to enjoy yourself with all the good food, the eating, the drinking, the dancing. It's just a little lanyard down on the bayou.
Well, Jarvis, the SEC slogan is "It just means more." Why does football mean more in the South, and what separates the SEC from all other conferences?
The South, Louisiana. On the back of our license plate, it said "Sportsman Paradise." So just doing all those things about sports is like the nucleus for every kid, girl, and boy. Coming up, it's how you start when it comes to organizing yourself, your chores, your beliefs, or whatever it is, teamwork, camaraderie. And I mean, I lived in Denver, lived in Boston, lived in Rhode Island. Just different. Down here, I remember when my son moved back, he was in the 9th grade, and he was like, "Dad, how you play football and go to class in high school?" And I'm like, it's just part of the culture. I think guys are built a little different down here. Because unlike other places that play like, hockey and baseball, those guys concentrate on hockey and baseball or basketball. Here, a lot of guys concentrate on football in the South. So you got all these different teams and players. And, I mean, every guy is a master of the universe in his division or his district. And then you just meet these other teams. But this is the culture, like the Florida, like the Texas, like the California. I mean, Louisiana football is tough.
Well, Jarvis, you end up getting drafted in the 4th round, 126th pick overall by the New England Patriots, who were coming off their first Super Bowl championship to kind of kickstart this whole thing. You wind up winning 2 Super Bowls there, being a part of that early part of the dynasty there. What was it like for you initially, going to New England? You're a Louisiana guy and you get drafted by the Patriots. It's a bit of a culture shock, but you wind up playing for a great organization for 8 years.
Yeah. Drafted 4th round. Never thought I'd be at that because, like for LSU, my last 2 seasons was terrible. If I was grading myself compared to my first 2 seasons at LSU, so much happened in between. Had a chance to go Mel Kiper's mock draft my junior year. That didn't work out. Had a high ankle sprain. Played well. Got drafted. I never thought I'd be drafted by the Patriots. And I can remember talking to Belichick the first time. I was talking to Scott Pioli, and then I talked to Belichick, and he was more like, and I asked him a stupid question, like, "Coach, like, where's New England?" And he was like, "Well, like, what do you mean?" Like, I said, "Where's New England?" And he was like, "It's the freaking Northeast. You didn't go to school. You didn't learn social studies, history." I said, "No, Coach. I know New England is a region, but where's the team?" So when you said Foxborough, I had no idea. But just to go there, be blessed, man, to play 8 years. And I was always a tweener guy, not big enough, not fast enough. But to play, with Coach Belichick and all the greats at New England, to have a successful career in 8 years. I think we didn't even have a losing season. I mean, we had 9-7 was our worst season. That was my first year. Mm-hmm. And then we had the year we went 10-6, then we didn't make the playoffs. So just to be part of that organization and just to experience not 1, not 2, but 3 Super Bowls, playing behind some of the best players that you can name, in the game at that time. So it's just been a blessing for me.
Guys, we have so much still to come here on the Elite Sports Podcast, but we want to take this time to tell you about our new sponsor, 500 Level. 500 Level is the ultimate sports apparel and fan gear store, and they feature ultra-comfortable custom t-shirts for NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, and even WWE. I just got a Macho Man Randy Savage shirt from 500 Level that has been a conversation starter everywhere I go. 500 Level was created because they decided it was time to create an apparel company that put the fans right in the mix, instead of having to outfit themselves with the same old gear from major corporations. 500level.com works with exceptionally talented artists, designers, and diehard sports fans to create unique t-shirt designs for fans to wear with pride. I mean, here in Kansas City, it's time to defend that Lombardi trophy. So stock up on 500 Level's unbelievable inventory of never-before-seen designs for players like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, or even rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You literally can't find that anywhere else. Use promo code KansasCity20 today for 20% off your order at 500level.com. That's promo code KansasCity20 for 20% off only at 500level.com.
Talk about those 2 Super Bowls you won a little bit against the Panthers. I mean, you got Jake Delhomme, Muhsin Muhammad, Steve Smith out there running around. And then T.O. with the Eagles playing on the bum leg.
Oh, man, right. Man, that first game in Houston, that was great for me because it was like a family reunion, coming that close to home, playing. I mean, it was indoor, but just getting that good, hot, nice weather that we're used to. But Jake Delhomme, man, that's my Cajun boy, USL. Man, just to play the Super Bowl your second year in the league, I mean, is gratifying. I mean, never thought you would get there. And then you go back the third year to go back-to-back again to play against Carolina, T.O., because he was doing all that hyperback chamber stuff, right? T.O. came back. He looked phenomenal, great. Just to go back-to-back, man. I know those 2 seasons, you could put that against any other history of a two-year club in NFL to go 17-2 back-to-back. That was special, man. I can remember those days for practice that things were just like, it was like clockwork. We get in, we get out. Minimize the errors. Everybody on the same point system. It was like a V12 engine running with all cylinders.
So it's kind of crazy as we look at it. Tom Brady, still in the league. He's older than you by a couple years. When you look at kind of the beginning of his career, which you were there for, what sets him apart? Why has he been able to sustain the success that he has kind of at his age, still able to go strong and moving on to Tampa Bay, but still at the top of his game, really?
I think his mentality, his mental sharpness, focus on what's at hand. He's that type of guy. Nothing else really matters. I mean, family is first, right? God is first, family first, all together. But then you got Tom Brady, who ran with a 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". Wasn't supposed to be in the league at all. Not, got drafted, 6 Super Bowl rings. I mean, watching that guy every day. I mean, he sat behind a plane on me when we traveled away games. So 8 years, he's behind me. And I can remember every time, no matter who was the offensive coordinator that sat there on the plane, I don't care if it was a 4-hour flight or a 45-minute flight to New York. The offensive coordinator, Josh, mainly, most of the years, and Brady was sitting there breaking down everything for the game plan. Not lollygagging, not hanging out, not shooting shit, but focusing on football. Coming in early, leaving late, working hard. He make mistakes. He's not perfect. But, man, he's a hell of a player, and his just competitive spirit, I mean, by far, it's the greatest in the league right now as a quarterback.
Wow, that's saying a lot. But, yeah, we've seen it with the 6 Super Bowls, Bo. We asked you about Nick Saban. We got to ask you about Bill Belichick, just kind of what makes him the great coach he is. Nick Saban may be the greatest college coach of all time. Bill Belichick may be the greatest NFL coach of all time. Why is Bill Belichick so great?
No, I always say this. I know both of these guys. Met them, played for both of them, back and forth communication. These guys are the same. They're the same person. Different shells. They're exactly the same. Their mannerism, the way they talk, the way they approach the game. I can remember sitting down, stretching my first year, and Bill coming up with the whistle, walking through, the stretch. I'm like, God damn. I said, you just like Saban. He said, wait, I was here first. So he's just like me. And, I mean, everything they do is you sit in the film room and watching Belichick. So when I was with Saban, when I played for 2 years, I couldn't compare him to anyone. It was him, right? He was the alpha omega. And then I get to Bill, and I'm watching everything he does. I'm like, damn, this looks all familiar. But again, Bill's first. and then you go back to Saban, and everything that Saban did, I mean, it's the same protocol, the same approach. I mean, you make a play, you don't make a play. I mean, you're going to get scored. Even if you make a play, but, it's all about the technique, the little things. You could get there, make a sack, fumble, but, you win the wrong gap. That's what Belichick's talking about. So fix that, get better the next time and less mistakes, And, I mean, he made me a great player. I mean, playing defensive end, but then my 8 years in the league, I played over the center, over the guard, over the tackle, over the tight end. So Coach always used to say, the more you could do, the more you could do. And that's the biggest thing I've seen with Belichick. I think a lot of other teams is a lot different because you just didn't have one position. You had many positions that the coach or the team needed you.
So many players and former players that we've talked to for what we're doing, for the film we're working on, have talked about how their association with their college team, even though they were only there 4 or 5 years, that is more long-lasting than any connection that they have as an NFL player. So you play in New England and win 2 Super Bowls, but when you identify yourself and you think back to it, do you identify yourself more with your college years with it as being an LSU Tiger? Do you agree with that?
I will always be a Tiger. Go Tigers. The national championship, they kicked everybody butt last year, so phenomenal. I mean, I graduated LSU, so I do have a place there, always will have a place there. But I played more years in New England. Played 3 Super Bowls, won 2 Super Bowls. I'm an ambassador now for the New England alumni. So, I mean, the last 6-7 years, I go to maybe 6 games a year with the Super Bowls, right? I'm more tied to New England. I am. I mean, been there most of my career. College, 5 years, but I mean, I was in college, man. I mean, I was trying to find the light, and then for New England, being up there now, and then I do business up there for my company, Oceans 97. But just being a part of that history, man. I mean, that dominance. I mean, I was. And look, you know what? I remember one day. So a lot of times, people wonder why people leave. So like when I left New England, I was a free agent, and people don't know this. I got offered a 4-year extension to stay in New England. And Bill was like, hey, play 12 years out and retire a Patriot. My dumb ass, I want to go to Denver. Can I curse? No? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to go to I wanted to go to Denver. I saw the money. I mean, yeah, okay, great, the money. Playing for extra $4-5 million, 4-year deal. Had a 4-year deal in New England. I could have stayed there mentally, physically. I knew everything, understood the program, the people. They love me, I love them. From the history, just stay in New England. But things happen. With business side of it, sports agent, GM, whatever. And then I went to Denver. So, but when I got done with Denver, I don't claim Denver. I don't claim Houston. I mean, I claim New England Patriots.
Of course, yeah, and. Is it, you talk about the winning 2, the one that got away. I mean, 2007, you guys are 18-0 going into the Super Bowl, 1 step away from the utmost immortality. Do you win the 2? Do you look back at that win? And because we talked to Adalius Thomas, who wasn't a part of some of the earlier ones, but he looks back at that and is just like as such a huge regret for him. What do you think when you think back to that loss to the Giants?
Tough time. I know we had the 10-year mark. I remember I did some stuff with that. I didn't sleep for 2 weeks after that game. I didn't sleep. I mean, yeah, I went to sleep, but I was popping Ambien, just trying to rest. And I mean, that one play, 3 inches, Yeah. I mean, we was in a scrum. I mean, they wasn't calling a goddamn thing. But at the same time, I remember that same game. I remember we going the next day, and Bill was furious. We missed 5 interceptions that went through our hand. We had some blown calls. I think the play with Tyree, that was a blown call. Somebody was supposed to be on him, not Rodney. I'm not sure. But it changed everything. What if he would have won that game 18-0? 18-0 or 19-0?
It would have been 19-0 after that, yeah.
Okay, it would have been 19-0. That would have changed history. And I always joke about it. I say if I would have got that sack, I probably would have been the MVP going to Disney World. So it's tough, man. Now, you know what? I don't feel as bad as a team now to go to another Super Bowl and lose to the same quarterback and the same team. when they went, the second time.
Mhm.
So it's just crazy from all the success and just all the Super Bowls, all the big games, just to be a part of everything.
Absolutely. And do you buy into this narrative that's going on now in the NFL that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were kind of butting heads at the end and wanting to split up for Tom Brady to prove that he can do it without Bill and Bill to prove that he can do it without Tom?
That's always going to be in the air. I think that's always going to be most of the the fans, the media. That's the opinion, right? I can't see that. No, that they got into it and he left. Now, did he leave because he wanted to go on his own merit and start over in Tampa Bay with a different system, ownership that would take him in as an orphan, and whatever you want to do, Tom, you do it. You got all the weapons, you got everything. We got the buffet for you. You pick and choose, and let's communicate and stay open. Because at that point, he's 20 plus years. You're not gonna have an offensive coordinator sitting there really fussing at him, telling him you should do it this way. I think he know how to do it the right way. So that's going to be very helpful with him in Tampa Bay with all the weapons that they do have.
Well, Jarvis, it's been a tremendous career for you, and thank you so much for taking your time out from your vacation out to Vegas to hop on with us, man. We really appreciate it. Enjoy Vegas as much as you can anyway during these crazy times. Have fun, and we'll definitely have to catch up soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Y'all take care.
You too, sir.
You too. It was an honor. Thanks a lot.